And I don't personally think I've seen anyone share this before, but I'm going to show you guys how I personally outsource, which is going to change your life. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, the best place for entrepreneurs and those that want to transform their lives from the inside out to become the best version of themselves. So in today's video, we are going to talk about some productivity hacks and tips that you can personally use this year to get more done in less time. So I'll be sharing with you guys 7 of the most important productivity hacks that I personally use in my business and in my daily life to get more done in less time. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So productivity hack number 1 is one I speak about quite a lot. I probably speak about it in most of my videos, and that is to batch similar tasks together. So what that means is if I have to reply to emails, I reply to all the emails at the same time. If I need to batch social media content, I will batch them all at the same time. And why is that? Because when you get in the flow of doing one task, you're able to complete it in a much faster time. So I'm going to show you guys how I actually batch my social media content now. So what I usually do is I batch all my content at the start of the month by using something called Airtable. So this is Airtable, and I use it with my virtual assistant VA, and we kind of think of a plan together of what I will be posting that month depending on what theme I'm having for that month. So as you can see here, for January, my theme for January was basically New Year, New Me, and my theme for February is obviously love. So what I do is I usually come here and add in my content idea. And then once I've added in my content idea, I add in the type of content it is. So the options I have is quotes, carousel, reel, picture of me, IGTV, which is basically just my promotion for my YouTube videos. The reel, TikTok related, basically just means that it's not an Instagram reel, it'll be a reel that I do on TikTok and then just transfer it over to Instagram. And an infographic is basically just a statistic, or maybe it's just a list of things that will help someone else. So then after I've done that, the reason why this is all published is because obviously, like I said before, I work with my VA. So what I do is I actually just put the idea of what I want, and then I get my virtual assistant to actually make the contents. So you see these contents here, I didn't make them, my virtual assistant made them. So when she makes them, she comes here. So when we start, it'll be on create content, right? And then after she's created it, it will go to review. That's for me to review it. If I'm happy with it, I will go on to schedule onto later, and then she will change it to scheduled. And then once everything's done, to published. So that's basically my systems I have in place. So what I usually do is, then we have the scheduled date and the scheduled time. And then the captions though, I don't get my virtual assistant to do it. I actually do my own captions myself. So all the captions here were done by me. And what I usually do is at the start of the month, the first week, I map out everything for the whole month, and then I just batch everything in one go. So then I know for the rest of the month I have content, and then I don't need to worry about for the rest of the month. So that's basically how I batch my Instagram content. But the reason why I love Airtable is because you have different views as well. So you can come here and you can go, this is grid form currently, but you can also have calendar form, which basically shows you the layout of the month. You can have another view called gallery view. So this basically shows what you're actually going to post. Obviously, because these are videos, you can't actually attach videos, or I've never tried to attach videos because I didn't see the point. You can just save a draft in Instagram. And this is basically how this view looks. And then you also have Kanban view, which you can basically categorize anything you want. So you can categorize it by type or status or anything else. So this is basically me categorizing everything. So it's just a quicker way to review what has been done and what I need to do. So that's basically how I batch my content. Okay, so now that you have seen how I batch my social media content, let's move on to the next productivity hack. And that productivity hack is to create a list of things that you need to complete in the day before, not on the day, the night before. So why is it important to create your list of things to do the night before? And disclaimer, do not create more than 3 major things you need to do in one day the night before, because if you look at your list and you have 10 things to do, it's going to feel really overwhelming and you probably won't get to all 10 of those things. So what you need to do is you need to create a list the night before of 3 major things you need to complete the next day. So when you wake up, you're not scrambling for things to do, you haven't forgotten what you need to do, but you go straight to the point, you look at your list and you see what's there for you to do. So one way I do this is by using my diary, but another way that you guys can do this is by using an application or a web browser called Workflowy, which I'm going to show you guys now. So this is basically what Workflowy looks like when you first go onto it. And as you can see, it does exactly what it says. So overwhelmed, we can help. Workflowy offers a simpler way to stay organized. If you have a crazy job or an ambitious project, we will be your trusty sidekick. So what you do is, it is free, so you can just enter your email address there. Then once you've entered your email address, it will look something like this. This is basically the screen you will come to. So as you can see, it's basically just a notepad that you can use and type on either your laptop, or you can also use it on your phone because they do have a mobile app. So this is basically the home screen that they will give you when you log in. But let's see what I actually do. So to batch my Instagram content, this is the main task that I want to do, and these are the subtasks below it. So as you can see, that one's been crossed off because it's been done. The rest have actually been crossed off, but I just unticked it so I can show you guys how to cross it off. So once you've done a task, you click on these 3 dots here, and then you literally just press complete. So that's really what Workflowy is, and it's just a way to keep on top of tasks, and you can also set reminders if you need to. So it's quite useful if you sometimes get overwhelmed or you just need to do a brain dump, or just put all the tasks you need to do in one place. So this is good for that. So as you will see, I like to tick off my tasks as I go along because it allows me to have a small win, and not only that, it allows my brain to think that I've accomplished a lot more than I have, which puts me in a better state of mind. The next productivity hack I use is that when I start a task, I make sure to finish it in that moment, because as soon as you start and stop something, the likelihood of you finishing it is very slim. So what I use is a web browser called Focus if I'm doing tasks on my computer and I don't want to get distracted. And another thing I use is the app Focus, because if I'm doing something on my phone and don't want to get distracted by going on social media, that's what I use, which I'm going to show you now. So I think you can only get Focus on Macs, but this is basically what it looks like. So you can block other applications on your laptop. So say for instance, you have WhatsApp web. So you can block that, or you can choose other things to block for a certain period of time. So it can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 25 minutes. So the 25-minute timer is quite useful because then you can use it for the Pomodoro technique, and that is basically just when you block 25 minutes and then you do a task non-stop, and then you have a 5-minute break, and then you go on and do another task non-stop, and then you have a 15-minute break. Then you go on and on and on until you finish your task for the day. So this is quite useful, and there's also an app, so you can also block different applications on your app, so then it won't distract you from the task that you have at hand. So the next productivity hack is one that not a lot of people take into consideration, and it's basically just to work at the time that you work best. So it's quite obvious when you think about it, but a lot of people do not do it. So for me, I'm not a night owl, I'm an early bird. So what I do is I wake up at 5 a.m. every day and get the most important tasks done in the morning. Because once I've done my most important tasks, then everything kind of just flows into place and I don't have to really worry throughout the day. However, if you're a night owl, you might be more productive from 10 p.m. onwards. So what you need to do is you need to use that to your advantage. And if you don't know when you're more productive, I've put a little quiz in the description below so you can go and check that out. So my next productivity hack is more suited towards business owners, and I don't personally think I've seen anyone share this before, but I'm going to show you guys how I personally outsource, which is going to change your life. So the reason that I can get more done in less time is because I understand that I physically cannot do everything. So I like to outsource and automate tasks that I know is going to be done on a repetitive basis, or I know that I don't need to do, that somebody else can do. So this is basically what I do. It's probably one of the major hacks that I use that literally saves me so much time during a month, a week, a year, whatever, but it saves me so much time. And this is basically just recording everything I do, that if I can't do it, somebody else can just pick it up by watching my recordings. So I've actually not used Canva in a very long time, because the only time I used Canva was to actually make my first posts on my Instagram, and I just recorded myself making those posts on my Instagram, and then I've put it in this folder called VA Help, so my VA can just pick it up whenever they need it, or if I have another VA that has to step in for my VA that has maybe left or has something else to do, they know what to do, because I've recorded everything I do in the way that I do it, because people sometimes do things differently. So I've done it in the way that I would like it to be done, and I've recorded it and I've kept it here. So I've shown them how to label content when uploading it to later in video format. I've shown them how to add content to Airtable, which is what I showed you before, and I've also shown them how to label carousels, and I think in a separate folder I have actually how to make it. how to make the content that I need on Canva. I have some inspirational Instagram handles that are similar to me and the kind of content that I'd expect my VA to be making. I have my hashtags that I use, and I also have a list as well, listing out how you do it in different steps if the videos don't make sense. So I've kind of like systemized everything to make everything as easy as possible for somebody else to pick up if I can't do anything, which is why in one of my posts how I said that I'm able to step away from my business if I want to, because I have all of these systems in place, which is what you should really get into the habit of doing, guys, because it makes life so much easier. So I think this is one of the best hacks that you can probably start implementing. So the next time you're probably on Canva, or the next time you do a task in your business that you need someone else to maybe pick up one day, just screen record it so then they know how to pick it up as well. So productivity hack number 6 is to break larger tasks down into small achievable tasks. So what I mean by that is, say for instance you want to start running Facebook or Instagram ads, you need to break that down into smaller steps. You can't just put on your goals or on your task list that you need to run Facebook ads, because that is too big of a step. So what I mean by breaking it down is you need to break it down into maybe 5 or 6 steps. So firstly, who is your target audience? Research your target audience. Then make your actual ad. So is it a picture? Is it a video? Figure it out. Number 3, then you need to try and figure out what is your copy going to be on that ad. So what are you going to write on that ad? Number 4, who are you targeting? So after you've figured out who your audience is, you need to actually look at target interests, target keywords and businesses that you're trying to target. Number 5, see how much you're willing to budget and see how much it will probably cost you to convert someone into a customer, and then you actually run the ad. Do you see how breaking down that has made it so much easier to achieve, because then you can tick off individual steps as you go on. So productivity hack number 7 is something quite obvious, but not many people do it, and that is to prioritize your tasks. So what I realize is that you might not always want to prioritize the most important tasks, but you might actually want to prioritize the hardest tasks first, because as soon as you finish the hardest task, the easiest task will feel a lot more enjoyable to do. So that's something you can bear in mind. So if you're thinking about what habits you need to pick up to become more productive, click on this video here as it goes into everything in depth, and don't forget to subscribe and comment down below, and I can't wait to see you next week. Bye my loves.